Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Peak Physique Podcast. The Peak Physique Podcast is a podcast for adults who want to get their fire back. The nice thing about the Peak Physique Podcast is it is a very short podcast. I try to get the message of whatever I'm trying to convey out in under 15 minutes so you can get a little valuable information in fitness and nutrition, maybe while you're having your coffee in the morning, and go along with your day after that a little smarter and a little more knowledgeable about fitness and nutrition. Today's topic is one that I'm really excited about. It's called The One Thing Parents Need to Do to Encourage Their Kids to Live a Healthy Life. Um, Recently at the gym, I had an experience that inspired me to talk about this, and I think it'll be quite valuable to all of you out there. Before we get into all that, though, um, let's talk about the situation with our kids today. So, it's no secret that Americans in general are scaling upward in the obesity trend. We're seeing the rates of obesity get higher and higher every year. And unfortunately, with the implementation of more technology in our world, that situation probably isn't going to get better unless we take some sort of active approach to it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, going back to what I was saying, I had an example that happened at the gym that inspired me to talk about the subject today. Recently, when I was finishing up a training session with one of my clients, had a gentleman come to the gym and had some questions about getting his son set up with some personal training. He was super, super excited. He wanted to have that conversation with me even as I was training my client at the moment. And, I told him, take a seat, I'll be with you in 5 minutes, and we can have a little chat. So when I was all finished up with my client, I sat down with this gentleman and we talked about his son. Uh, like a lot of kids, his son is very inactive and more into computers, video games, and general inactivity than doing anything workout related. Never had any experience with sports, never any experience with working out or any form of cardio or anything like that. So coming in brand new, obese, and his dad was super concerned about it. He wanted him to get started and just embark on the journey and get going. And I thought, man, that's awesome. That would be awesome if Peak Physique could help make that happen. And switch the conversation over to a little bit about the dad. I asked the dad, what's with you? Are you active? And he said, nope, nope. I said, well, I encourage you to consider joining the gym as well. You and your son could possibly come to classes together and make a fun memory and maybe get some results together. Honestly, this gentleman wasn't a shining example of good fitness, and I thought that would probably be of value to both of them if he started as well. He immediately backed away. He said, I'm too busy. I don't have time. This isn't the right time in my life. He gave me every excuse in the book why he couldn't start. And in the back of my mind, I thought, well, it's not really the best way to go about it. If you want your son to get more active, it'd probably be helpful for you to do it too. And that is what we're alluding to in this podcast today. If you want your children or the kids in your life to take a more active approach to their lives, you got to do it too. You got to live that example. In this situation, we got the kid into the gym, and he came to a couple of sessions, and unfortunately, he fell off a week after getting started. Even though we tried our hardest to get him back by calling him, texting him, it just didn't happen. And I can't help but think that it probably would have helped a lot if I could have got his dad on board too. I go back to examples in my own life, looking at my family, my brother, my sisters. They all live healthy lifestyles. They exercise, they move, they encourage their kids to do the same. And in this situation, it's worked out really well. Personally, when I was a kid, I went from being relatively inactive and not really interested in pursuing any exercise to really just being obsessed with it at about age 13. And that goes back to my brother and my sister Pam. They were living the lifestyle, and I saw it. They weren't really even encouraging me to do it as well, but seeing them doing it and seeing what they got out of it made me realize there was a lot of value to it. And I looked up to my brother and wanted to be a lot like him. So, that pushed me in that direction. And so goes the same for all the kids in your lives too. They're looking at you. What you do is more important than what you say. And if you want them to really be invested in it, you got to do it yourself. And going back to my example with the father that came in, you can make an awesome memory with your family by doing the exercise thing together. Maybe hire a personal trainer and do 2-on-1s with them, or maybe consider joining a group setting like we have at Peak Physique. And you'll do things that you'll be talking about at the dinner table 15 years down the road, or even well beyond that. Those memories are huge. And not only that, but you're going to improve your health and the health of your loved ones as well. Your kids, if they start becoming more active while they're young, you can bet that a lot of those habits are going to carry on into adulthood and make them healthy long into their elderly years. So live that example, you guys. It's very important. If you need help with that and you're in the Milwaukee area, Peak Physique can help. We have an awesome team of trainers and myself. We can work with you 2-on-1 or whatever, like we talked about in this podcast. We can put you into group classes where you can work out together. But bottom line, we can help. And I'm going to put my email in the comment section below. So if you do want to get a hold of us and you're in the Milwaukee area, you can reach out through that email. Also, if you found this podcast helpful and you want to share it, that would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to grow this thing. So do me a favor, copy the YouTube link, share it in your social media, and let's spread the word of good health to these kids today. That's all I got for you today, though. Have a great rest of your day. Keep kicking butt, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks.